Very good morning to one and all present here. Once again, I welcome you back in the science class. Previous class, we had finished chapter 2 question answers. Today, we will start the third chapter. Before that, let me introduce the topic that we are going to study in this class. Now, we all know that we all have been surrounded by various materials. Like some of them are living, some of them are non-living. If I will ask you the question that can you give me the names of the materials that you see around you people? The very common answers I will be getting from everyone. That ma'am, we can see plants, trees, buildings, animals, birds, vehicles, etc., etc. And we all know that these materials are either living or non-living. Do you know a very common term is given to these materials? They are termed as matter. Today in this class we are going to study about the matter and their states. The name of the chapter is Chapter 3, Nature of Matter. Okay. Now, at the end of this class, we will be able to understand various points. Now, what are the objectives that will be fulfilled after completing this lesson? They are, first of all, we will be able to define the matter. Number 2, we will be able to classify or sort or categorize the objects depending upon their states. Number 3, we will be able to determine the difference between the states of matter. The states of matter, this topic you have already learnt in your previous year. That is solid, liquid and gas. Once again we will deal with that topics. Number 4, we will be able to give various examples of solids, liquids and gases. Number 5, we will be able to describe the characteristics of solid, liquid and gas. Understood? These are the objectives that will be completed after finishing the today's class. Now let's start the discussion. Now in front of you, I have kept some objects. Can you guess what are these? They are the blocks. The kids used to play by joining all the blocks together to make the different structures. Okay. So you can see that total 6 numbers of blocks I have kept here. Do you find any similarities or differences between them? Yes. We can see that some of them are big in size, some of them are smaller in size. So just group them, just sort them, divide them into 2 parts. These 3 objects, they are bigger in size and these 3 objects are smaller in size. In this way, we have divided 6 number of blocks into 2 groups. Each group contained 3 blocks now. This is one type of division. Second, we can divide them depending upon the colors. You can see that there are only 2 colors. They are green, group them together, and here we have red colors. This is again one type of grouping where the 2 groups are there. One contained the green blocks, the another contained the red blocks. Another type of division we can do. Can you guess on what basis we can divide them into 2 groups? On the basis of their shapes. You can see these are cubes. These are the cubes and these 3 are in the shape of the cuboids. So again you see I have made how many groups? 2 groups. The blocks are again divided into 2 groups. Clear to you? So what we want to say? We want to say that things can be categorized or can be divided into groups depending upon some similar properties and differences. And this phenomenon of dividing the things, it is known as classification. Clear to you? So here we did the three division. First, on the basis of what? We did on the basis of the sizes. Second, on color. Third, on their shape. Understand what is the meaning of classification? Now come here. See, classification. Classification means categorization. Okay, grouping of materials or sorting of materials into different groups depending upon some categories. Clear? Now see, again I have made some of the pictures here. Case number 1. Imagine these are the balls. There are 2 colored balls I have made. Just assume that all of them are of same size and shape. Only there is a difference of color. So on the basis of the color, we can categorize all these balls into 2 groups. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 red balls and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 blue balls are there. Clear to you? Division can be done on the basis of the color. I am writing here. On the basis of the color, we can divide these balls. Now case number 2. Again you see, I have drawn some balls. Just assume these are the balls. Here you can see the color is same. All of them are in blue color. Then what is the difference? The difference is of their size. The shape is also same. They are spherical in shape, but the size is different. Some of them are very small, some of them are very big. Now count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 big balls are there. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 small balls are there. So depending upon the size, the classification can be done. Understood the meaning of classification? Now this is the third case. Some of the materials name I have written here. Wood, water, air, glass tumbler, steel plate, milk, plastic bucket and kerosene. Can you guess the basis on which we can classify them into 2 groups? Any color, any size, any shape? No. On the basis of their origin, from where they have come. On the basis of the origin, these materials are classified into 2 groups. One is natural, which comes from the nature, and the another one is your man-made, which is made by the human being. Clear? Now see, wood, it is a natural material. Water, natural material. Air, natural material. Glass tumbler, it is made by the human being. Steel plate, again it is made by the human being. Milk is obviously it is a natural, but days are very near to us when we get a man-made cow milk. Then plastic bucket, again it is a man-made material. And kerosene. See, kerosene is obtained from the crude oil. Crude oil is a natural material, but we make it after the purification of crude oil. So kerosene will be putting into the man-made categories. So again you see, all the materials are classified into 2 groups. One which comes from the nature, which is known as natural, and the another which is made by the human being, and it is known as man-made. Now I think the classification term is very clear to you. So what is the definition of classification? By mistake I wrote this, just strike off. The definition of classification is the ordering of organisms or the things into groups based on similarities and differences is called classification. Once again I am repeating, the ordering. Ordering means grouping of organism or the things into different groups based on their similar properties and differences to be kept aside is called classification. Clear? Now the next topic is matter. Just sometimes back we had discussed about the matter. What is matter? Matter is anything that has mass and occupies space. You can see that I have kept a mobile cover on my notebook. It is also a matter because it has some weight as well as it takes the space onto the notebook. The same way these blocks are kept here. These blocks also have some weight as well as they all are taking some space on this surface. So these all are termed as the matter. So matter is defined as it is anything or material that has mass and occupies space. Mass is a very new term for all of you. What is the meaning of mass? Mass means large amount. Okay, and the meaning of occupies means to fill or take. Now, each matter is made up of a very small piece. As we had already discussed various times that the living organism is made up of a very small particle or structural or basic unit. That unit is known as cell. Cell is the basic and structural unit of the life. The same way, all the matters are made up of very small piece. And you know what we called it? We called it as particles. Let us discuss. Now check what I have written here. The matter, the substance in the nature. It is first made up of, when we will break it, the smallest particle is known as atoms. Atoms are made up of more smaller ingredients. They are termed as proton, neutron and electron. The proton and neutron is further, if it is broken down, it will be seen that it is made up of quarks. Now these all terms are very new for all of you. Don't be confused. Just keep in this mind, when we break the things further, what we get, what are the smallest particle of a matter, just that we are discussing. Now what is proton, what is neutron, electrons and quarks, we don't have to study about all these things. Just keep this in mind. When the matter is broken down, we get the atoms. The atoms are made up of proton, neutron and electrons. The proton and the neutrons, if it is further divided, then further broken, then we get that it is made up of quarks. But the electrons, it is still not found that what is the smallest material of which the electron is made of. So it has been said that the quarks, the building blocks of the proton and neutron and the electrons, they are made up of very smallest portion of the matter and it is termed as particles. Once again, matter is made up of atoms. Atoms are made up of some of the smaller ingredients. They are proton, neutron and electrons. The proton and the neutrons, they are made up of quarks. And electron, it is still not discovered. But it has been said that the electron and quarks, they are the smallest portion of the matter. Means the smallest part of the matter, and these two, quarks and electron, it is termed as particles. So in short, let's just summarize that the matter is made up of very smallest part and it is termed as particles. Any confusion? Just keep this in your mind that matter is made up of very smallest portion and that portion is known as particles. Clear to you? Now, further, the matter has some of the states, and that states that we are going to study in this lesson is your physical state of matter. First of all, discuss what is the meaning of physical state. Physical state is the property that can be observed or measured without changing the identity of water. It is just an appearance, like your color or the odor means the smell, or the shape or the size. But the identity of that material will not be changed. The shape can be changed, the size can be changed, but the identity of that matter will not be changed. That is termed as physical state. Now we can understand this by one of the examples. Now see here. The ice cubes, we all know that the ice cubes, it is when it is heated, then it changes into water. When we heat the ice cubes changes into water. And the method of this change is known as melting. Melting of ice changes into water. Clear to you? This is the one form of water. Clear? The second form that we get after heating the ice cubes, that the process is melting, this is the second form. Clear? When the water is further boiled on high temperature, then water is changes into steam by the process of evaporation. The evaporation term you have already read in your previous class. What is the evaporation? The change of water into vapor form on heating. Clear? Now, when the steam touches any cold surface, then again it changes into droplets. Clear? This is the third form. The steam, when it touches the cold surface, it changes into fourth form of the water, that is your droplets. And this method of change is known as condensation. Do you remember condensation? During discussion of the rainwater cycle, we read these two terms, evaporation and condensation. It is your E, condensation. Clear to you? Now, the droplets, when again kept inside the fridge, this method is known as freezing. When the water, that droplet is again kept inside the fridge, then it again changes into ice cubes and the method is known as freezing. So in this method we can see that the identity has not been changed, but the forms is changing from one form to another by just changing the method, like melting, boiling, condensation, evaporation and freezing. This is only physical state. Clear? So, further we will deal about the physical state of matter. Here you can see the ice cubes is the solid state of the water, whereas water is the liquid state of water. The steam is the vapor state of the water. Once again, droplets is the liquid state of water, and again when it is freezed, it again comes back into the solid state of water. So here we can see that physical state of the water can be interchanged. It can be interchanged from one form to another form. This can be seen only in the water, but water mainly exists in the liquid state. So now come here. The physical state of matter, solid, liquid and gases, depending upon the arrangement of the particles. Clear to you? Now come here. The first one, what happens in the solid state? In the solid state, the particles are very tightly packed with each other. Hence, they have a very strong force of attraction in between them. They are closely packed with each other and they have this strong bond in between them. They are not able to move as there is no space. Hence, it has been seen that the shape of the solid state cannot be changed. It has definite shape as well as the size. Due to the tightly packed with each other nature, there is very strong bond and hence the particles are not able to move from each other. Clear? Next one. Next you see in the liquid state. In liquid state you can see that the particles has little space in between them. It has little space in between them, and due to this the bond is not very strong. Little bond is there. The force of attraction is a bit weak, and due to that the particles can move from one place to another place. Now, do you know what is the meaning of fluid? When the water is in the flowing condition, it is termed as fluid. So, when the water is poured in a glass, it will take the shape of the glass, and the same amount of water, when it is transferred to a ball, it will take the shape of the bowl, because the water particles can move due to little space, but the quantity will not be changed. The amount of water which was in the glass, it will remain as same as we will pour it into the bowl. So in the case of liquid state, as it has little space, hence the bonds are very weak and can move from one place to another. Hence, it does not have definite shape, but it has definite volume. Next one, gaseous state, you see. In the gaseous state, the particles are at a very large distance. Large spaces are there between the particles and the bond is very weak, or we can say there is no bond, no force of attraction. Hence, the particles can move very freely. So, the gaseous state, it does not have any proper what? A definite shape or volume. Clear? Now, all the solid, liquid and gases are clear to everyone. Now, just see the examples of these solid, liquid and gases. Many examples we can see in the solid: chalk and sugar and paper I have written, liquid oil, milk, blood, etc. Gaseous CO2, O2, steam, vapor, etc. So, you can find many examples from your surroundings that they exist in which state of matter. Clear? So, next the last topic is for today's class is comparison between the solid, liquid and gases. In the case of solid, the particles are tightly packed. Liquid, there is less tightly packed due to the small space in between them, and large space is there. Hence, the particles are not at all have any hold on each other. Due to their no space, they cannot be compressed. But in the liquid state, it can be compressed little space is there, so can move from one place to another, so can be compressed little. Here large spaces are there, so it is confirmed that it can be compressible permanent. It can be compressible in any form. Number third, the solid, it has definite shape, size and volume. That liquid, it has definite volume but no definite shape. Gaseous state, it has no definite shape as well as volume. I think the topic is well clear to everyone, and your homework is you have to define matter and classification. Number 2, how do solids, liquids and gases differ to each other? These 2 questions you write down in your homework copy. Okay? And still, if you have any doubt regarding this topic, please note down when you watch the video and ask me when we will come online in our WhatsApp group. Okay, once again requesting everyone, just stay home, stay safe, and please follow all the guidelines to fight with deadly disease, coronavirus. Clear? And we will just pray to the God that we will meet very soon in our real classroom. Thank you. Bye-bye.